guys, this is Mark from Success 4 and we are here for this week's edition of Covert Coaching. And before we get started, I just want to introduce a new member of the team, and we've got Danny Cotton here.
Hello.
Danny's joined us. Danny is a whiz on all things to do with cameras, media,
lighting.
Yeah, we've had a go here. Yeah.
That's why we look more beautiful in this one.
Yeah.
One more beautiful than last
Yeah,
time.
and so, welcome, Danny. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes. I am primarily, I suppose, a film and media maker, which is hopefully why I'm going to be a useful addition to your team.
Yeah, certainly.
I've been making short films and a couple of features for film festivals, and also do a lot of corporate work, music videos and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so Dan's joined the team just so we can continue moving forward. We're getting a lot of work coming in now with the new studio and things as well, so that's creating loads of work. So welcome to the team.
Thank you.
And obviously we've got Rich, but everyone's seen Rich before and knows who Rich
Bored
is.
of you, I suppose.
They are well bored of me right now. Absolutely bored of me by now. But look at this wonderful studio that we've got here with the blue wall and the red sofa. This is pretty cool, isn't it?
It is. And this week's Covert Coaching is the importance of having a blue wall.
Yes.
Now,
That's it.
That's the title.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
because it's very important as well. But as you pointed out, if you do blue screen, don't wear a blue shirt.
Yeah, of course not.
Go missing.
That'd just be silly.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to be ahead.
Yeah.
Course, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the best bit. I don't know, actually.
sure?
I don't know.
Anyway, guys, the importance of having a blue wall, and this is what this is about. It's about branding. The importance of branding, the importance of if you use the same colour behind you every time, you're gonna get known for it, and not known for it in a way where people talk about it, but known for it from if someone's scrolling through and they see a picture pop up, they're going to instantly recognise that it's probably one of your lives. So just the importance of branding and and being recognised for something. So we've done a lot of work in the studio and in throughout the offices actually over the last few days. We've branded it up, making it look pretty. It looks really good. We had lots of painting and decorating going on, and it does look awesome.
What I like about it is it fits in with our digital magazine, our Mindshift magazine. So it's all like the squares and the blocks and the bright colours. It looks great. So the branding is going across the board. So we were talking about just before we started filming Ant and Dec and the fact that they branded themselves so tightly together in a personal brand. So Danny, like with personal branding, how important is it now to have a personal brand, considering that you can get on YouTube and do your lives? It's all down to you now.
It's so important. I think now that technology has gone so far, there are so many people trying to push so many different brands that if you don't have that unique, even if it's just a colour scheme that you go with, you're just going to get lost in this wave of so many people trying to clamber up.
Trying to do similar things.
So if you've got that unique logo, that unique colour, you'll just pop to the top. And again, as you were saying, it's all about just sparking that memory. You look at even maybe a font or something.
Yes,
you see that certain font. You think, Coca-Cola or whatever that particular.
Yeah, really good example of that. Someone like Dino Rod. They've got them bright orange vans going around, and the colour, I think they've actually trademarked the colour as
Have
well.
they?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they did quite a long while ago. But instantly recognisable. If a van drove past with nothing written on it, that colour, you would still think it was a Dino Rod van. Yeah. And so things like that, just building a brand and just sticking with it. People change too often. People do stuff for 3 months, it's not working, so they completely change what they're doing, and they don't realise sometimes you've got to do it for 3 years. Before you start getting recognised for that. So the importance of doing that, just going back to what you talked about Ant and Dec, I mean they've been a brand. It hasn't ever been one or the other. It's always been Ant and Dec.
Even to the point where some people don't know who's who.
Which way around?
Well, that's a joke now, isn't it? They will use that as part of their advertising.
And that's that's been the case since 1980 something, 1980. Something like that. Biker Grove days, and they've been a brand together. And one of the conversations we were having over the last couple of weeks, obviously lots of things happening in their lives, and last couple of weeks the show's been done by just one of the pair, as it were.
And it was an event in itself just to watch it. I don't watch much telly, but that was an event just to watch it, just to see him do it on his own.
Yeah. And it for a lot of people didn't seem right.
No.
Didn't, and I mean, I know numbers were down a lot, and I don't know, you can attribute that to all manner of reasons, but So yeah, it's just that branding now to now come away. If it was just one of them on their own, just wouldn't make sense anymore. It's like a complete rebrand needed. So so the importance of just building a brand and just sticking with it and just keeping to that brand.
That's the thing, and I think a lot of people don't realise that a brand doesn't have to be. It's what you make the brand become. Like some people, like the name the Beatles is a terrible name, really, when you think about it. It doesn't mean anything other than their haircut looks a little bit like a Beatle. Other than that, doesn't mean anything. But it's what they made it mean. So, but that took time, as you were saying.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many examples out there. Things like, the orange of EasyJet. There's so many colours. Like you rightly said about the font of writing. You can attribute that to certain things. And I suppose another really good example when it comes to media would be something like the old Intel bleeps, or the Nokia ringtone, or all these different things. As soon as you hear it, you instantly recognise it as that brand. So like the Apple, when you look, when your laptop boots up and things like that. And
that's a great bit of advertising, isn't it? The audio, particularly, if anything, that gets into your subconscious when you hear that, you go, that product immediately.
Well, all those sort of things, I think, are more subconscious than saying the name, or like in an advert, the subconscious of just the colours. And if you can get to a point where you can use all three, and you've got the colour and the signature and maybe a certain noise at the beginning, even if it's just an intro and things like that. So something to really work on, and advice I would give everybody out there who's looking at branding themselves, building themselves up. Three things really. First thing is, come up with a brand, and it hasn't got to be something you're recognised for at the moment. It hasn't got to be something that anybody understands at the moment. It's just come up with a brand for you. How do you want to be seen? Even if it is just sitting in front of a blue wall, but just keep that brand going and get recognised for it.
And stick with it.
Yeah, number 2, stick with it.
Yeah.
Just stick with it for in this game. 3 months is nothing. It's not, you're not going to do it in 3 months. A lot of the companies and things we've just mentioned have been going a lot of years. It's taken them a long time to build that branding up, but it will eventually start to happen, and you might not even recognise it's happening, but people will recognise a brand. So build a brand, stick with it, and the third thing as well is involve other people in it. Because your brand hasn't necessarily, you haven't got to keep it all to yourself. Bring other people in so that other people can be not recognised by your brand, but attributed to it. Do you know what I mean?
Contribute to it.
Contribute to it, and and don't be afraid of doing the same for them, because I mean that's one of the things we're really passionate about is just collaborations, people working together, building a team, and and really, I mean, in the studio here we've got 3 or 4 different places we can film, which are completely different brands for different people that we work with. So.
Which is incredible, really. I mean, another thing we were talking about was the importance of protecting your brand. Like you say, with Anne obviously having his issues right now, that could change the whole feel of a brand just because of an incident. And you've got people like Richard Branson who have carried that brand for years. So one of the real problems with personal brand is you've got to protect it. Be very, very protective.
All brands got to be protected. I mean, someone like Richard Branson he does it very cleverly. If there's something that's going to shut down. And he has had businesses go wrong, but at the point where they go wrong, they're no longer called Virgin.
Yeah.
Have you know? The name changes, or he sells it out like sort of 12 months beforehand. Then it goes wrong. So he's put, and that's probably cost him a lot of money to do that and rebrand a whole business just to shut it down.
Yeah.
So that's, but it protects the other brand. So that's there's a reason for doing it. Protecting brands, and back to the Ant and Dec situation. I don't believe that brand is very tarnished, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
I think it's such a strong brand, and I think most people respect the fact that everyone goes through a bad patch in their lives. And they've been in the forefront of Saturday night TV, kids TV. Even they've done absolutely everything from pop stars, everything since they were 15 years old.
15 years old, yeah.
And it's before then probably. But since I was 15 years old.
No.
But I'm sure they were involved, before then in other things, and and this is the first time one of them has ever
had a anything sort of,
had something that the media can report on about them. I personally think just stay out their way, give him space he needs, and they will come back fighting strongly, and hats off to them for everything they've done in the past, really. So yeah, I think it's
so protecting your personal brand is obviously quite important, but I think what they did well is they mitigated the problem from there. They were honest about it.
Yes.
And they went, he's got a problem, he's going to get help.
Yep.
That was the best way to deal with it for them. They're known for their honesty and their openness and their kind of accessibility. And they kind of, part of it was they went along with that. They didn't try to hide it. And I think if they tried to hide it, it would have made it much worse.
I think that is, I don't know if that's just them or just how it's I suppose that they're told to deal with things when it comes to media and that nowadays. I mean, things like that, being very open about that. You can't hide anything nowadays. It's so hard to pretend something's not happening. You're so much better off just being completely honest about it. And I think they've got the respect of the nation, so they can be honest about it. I think if that was, any lesser person, the nation might have said, well, that's your fault, But I think they've got the respect of so many age groups, which is the amazing thing. It's not just people who've grown up watching them. It's every age group. Even like my kids know who they are. My bloody grandparents would know who they are. It's that sort of situation where the whole nation are probably behind them.
So what's your sort of take on branding then, right? Because you got your T-shirt on for your film, how do you go about doing your branding? Because you were working on your logo a little bit earlier as well. So how do you come up with your branding? Do you have a certain sort of feel to it?
Yeah, I just kind of, obviously when you set something up, you know roughly what you want to pitch for. So if you've got that kind of ethic, I mean, in terms with me, it was kind of obviously for filmmaking. I'd set up the name. I was looking for something that was synonymous with creation, which is where the name, sorry, a bit of name drop, Fabrication Images came from. It's that act of creation, and I just wanted to use something that would be kind of catchy in that respect, so you could link the two together and people go, oh, that's a nice little touch, and then you get remembered just for a nice little nod in that kind of process. That makes sense. And then from there it was just a case of I'd pick my name, I would then create the colour scheme. So for me, it was the lack of a colour scheme, just to create a bold kind of branding design. And then from there, it was just bringing a core select group of people on board to expand, as you were saying before, expand that network, get people to know the name, know your products, know what you want to sell. So you've got that defined structure all the way through. That's just the basic building blocks for me, just to get it started. And then obviously as you start making stuff, they then hopefully jump on board that bandwagon to expand your products.
So with everything you've put together for your business, how long would you stick with that branding for? Is that it now forever?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, that's something that I want to pursue. Obviously with film, you can obviously make different films and different genres, but I would all like them to eventually come under this one hub. And as you were saying before, you can have sub companies that go off and specialise in different things, but I always wanted that kind of that top level signature, if you will.
I've seen so many people get involved, certainly in things like even podcasting, where they change so many things so regularly. There's never any pattern. I know, and it's I suppose it just seems to be I don't know whether people get scared of, that one didn't work, let's change everything, try this, or that didn't work, let's change it.
I think they don't wait for momentum to build. It could take a year before you start to get regular listeners. And at times you'll think, no, I was listening, I'll change it. But it literally is staying with it for that point. Unless something's glaringly, obviously not suitable for what you're doing, it become known over time. And it's patience. It really is putting in the patience for what you've done, but knowing what you want to say for starters, and then sticking to it. I mean, you're going to have certain adjustments. The Coca-Cola brand is basically the same, but through the years it's slightly different fonts, but they are the same.
I think, they change. Much. They change little things over time, don't they? I think, more evolving than anything else. I think it's I suppose there are. I can't think of a company that's gone out and just completely changed their colour, their logo,
No.
their everything all at once, unless it's for a reason they've gone bankrupt or something,
really-
with complete name change and things. But I think most companies, they evolve and they tweak things, but I don't think there's massive changes does anyone any good. You spend so much money, certainly someone like Coca-Cola, you think what they spend each year just putting that brand out there, just constantly trying to drip feed this brand, so when you walk into a shop you see a can sitting there, that's the one you reach for. I think that's to spend that amount of money doing that and then go and change your brand would just be ridiculous. And in a way you're investing, you might not be investing money, but you're investing time in building a brand up. Just stick with it.
And connection. So any advice? So what someone could take for, what was their mission for this week?
I'd really just sit down and just, if you're undecided, if you've been doing lives, if you've been doing podcasts, if you've been doing anything along the lines of sort of building a brand up business wise, or personal brand, even if it is just you are your business, I would say sit down and decide which one worked best for you. And when I say worked best, I don't mean got you the most listens, got you the most likes or anything like that. I mean just which environment did you feel the most comfortable in, which one did you look best in, that sort of thing. You've got to be the one that's happy with it, and then stick with that and just build on that.
Okay, cool. So guys, it's been Success 4 Covert Coaching. Head over to the website success4.com. We want to help you with your safe self-development, and we've got loads of articles on there. Subscribe to our free Mindshift magazine and go to all our social media pages at Success4 Global. Nice to see you, Danny. Nice to have you with us.
Yes.
And there'll be plenty more of these to come. Every Sunday, Covert Coaching. And we've got some fantastic things on the website to look forward to. And if you are a coach yourself and you want to be in the magazine or featured on the website, info@success4.com, and let us know.
Perfect.
See
Thanks,
you
guys.
later. Bye-bye.